From Hollywood, it's the Tom Leykis Show.
I like the way you think.
And now, here he is, Tom Leykis.
Thank you for tuning into the Tom Leykis Show. One of the terrible things about being on vacation is stuff happens, and you don't get to comment on it. One of the things that happened, Bret Farvre out of the playoffs. The New York Jets will not be in the playoffs. By the way, neither will the Green Bay Packers. And the way I see it, Bret Farvre ruined the season of two teams, not just one. I mean, how much better would the Green Bay Packers have been if Bret Farvre stayed retired and they didn't have that whole controversy during their training camp? It wasn't enough for him to go somewhere else, but he also had to ruin the season for the Green Bay Packers. And now his own teammates are calling him selfish. His own teammates are calling him distant. A number of his Jets teammates, both on and off the record, have had nothing good to say about Bret Farvre. Nothing. Now, we told you on this program, and we got a lot of flack for it from listeners who are just, you know, mindless football fans as opposed to thoughtful football fans. Some of the mindless football fans out there called you, I can't believe you're saying that about Bret Favre. You know, Bret Favre's a tough individual. He's a tough guy. He's a lot tougher than you. You try going in there. He's tough. But the guy bawls like a baby. He cries. And not only that, he's a big drama queen. And so Bret Favre made this big stink, and he finally got himself traded to the New York Jets. And not only are the Jets not making the playoffs this year, but his teammates now are roasting him, ripping him. I mean, these guys have played with the man. These guys have talked to the man. These guys have been in the clubhouse with the man. And the comments are just outrageous. I mean, the word selfish coming up over and distant. One of the trainers they brought in, I guess they were going to train the New York Jets. They were going to use boxing as a means of training. Oh, Bret didn't want to participate. Bret didn't want to get in there with the other Jets. I mean, the guy just came in there, and it was much ado about nothing. And, of course, everybody in New York, they were all calling, yeah, Bret Favre now, he's with the Jets. You know what I'm talking about? We're going all the way. Yeah. All the way into the garbage can, folks. New York Jets went down in flames, and Bret Favre was there lighting the torch.
Your time is up.
I mean, do you remember we talked about Bret Favre and all those people were calling in, yelling at me and beating on me because I said the guy retired and unretired, cried when he retired, cried when he came back. Couldn't decide, did he want to retire, did he not want to retire? Is he actually going to come back there next year? I don't think so. Now I think he's going to retire. Now, you see, had he left well enough alone, okay, had he retired at his zenith, had he retired when people still loved him, wouldn't that have been the right thing to do? Remember the Green Bay Packers offered, if you recall, they offered to pay him for the remainder of his contract. Just be our goodwill ambassador. We'll consult with you on player moves, and we'll keep you involved in the team. We're not just sending you away. We will pay you, and you can come to work. We give you an office. You come in. But no, that wasn't enough. He had to drag the sports world and you moronic sports fans. I'm a sports fan. I don't think sports fans are moronic per se, but the ones who defended Bret Favre and his drama queen ways, morons. Morons. Bret Favre then had to put up or shut up, and he couldn't put up the points. He couldn't do it. All of that whining and crying and all that soap opera for nothing. Am I wrong?
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-866. The Tom Leykis Show.
promise I wouldn't get emotional. I'd like to thank the Packers for giving me an opportunity as well. I hope that every penny that they've spent on me, they know it was money well spent.
There we go. Bret Farvre a year ago. So Bret Farvre made this big stink and went to the New York Jets. He couldn't get him into the playoffs. Is he going to do this again this winter? Is he going to drag everybody through the mud? I don't know. I don't know if I want to retire. I'm going to think it over. I'm going to think it over. Jesus. 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. It's Mark on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Father Tom.
Son, how are you?
Great topic, my friend.
Thank you.
Heard you talking about it. I've been a loyal Green Bay Packer fan since '96, and I'm going to admit it. I jumped on the wagon. I was in my 20s then, and you know, Bret Farvre was the man. He was the man back then, and I followed him. I followed him through good. I followed him through seasons where we were 4-12 about 4 years ago. I was fortunate enough to be able to go to Lambeau, watch a football game against the Detroit Lions, 7-degree temperature in December. Froze my butt off. I'm a Cali boy, but I froze my butt off. But that's loyal. That's what loyal fans do. Now, I lost all respect for the guy when he cried. Okay?
And he not only cried, but he dragged out that drama.
I know. And my football buddies were like, what's up with your boy crying? And I said, you know what? That's soft. So that's the first step. Then, he, like you said, he drags us diehard Green Bay fans through the mud with all his little smirking on and off that stupid airplane that we chased him to go get. And he has the nerve to smirk at us while he's getting on and off this stupid plane with his ugly wife that ain't even hot. Maybe she was hot like 20 years ago, but that's besides the point. Well, my point is, I was so glad to see him go to the Jets, and I'll tell you why. Because he kept doing exactly what he was doing on the Packers, was throwing interceptions. Yeah, he won a few games. Yeah, whatever. But still, he didn't make the playoffs. He's not going to come back, and I hope he doesn't come back.
In fact, he not only lost the playoffs for the Jets, he lost the playoffs for the Packers.
Exactly.
Because Aaron Rodgers did not get to have a whole training camp without all that controversy, without all that distraction.
And you know the sad part? Bret Farvre is a third-string Pro Bowler this year. Statistic-wise, he was horrible. If you really look at numbers, Aaron Rodgers had a better year than him. He had a horrible record, but he had better numbers than him.
Right.
And for him to make, and it was kind of sad because Phillip Rivers from the Chargers, got dogged out by Bret Farvre. That's horrible. And Phillip Rivers had better numbers, and he's in the playoffs.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
So Bret Favre, he can go somewhere with it.
And let's talk about Chad Pennington.
Chad Pennington, another good quarterback. He got kind of dogged yesterday, though. He didn't step up to the plate, but he did beat the Jets, and that was nice. I enjoyed that. So that was nice. Father, can you take me out with bong rips followed by screaming orgasm?
Absolutely, Mark. Here you go.
Oh, God. Oh, yes.
It's 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. It's Jason on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing okay.
I just want to say that I definitely agree on this topic with you. I mean, Bret Favre, he's a crybaby,
That's right.
So why do you have to change to that when you have a setup at Green Bay? What's the deal with that?
By the way, Chad Pennington. Chad Pennington made the playoffs.
Exactly. That's my next point right there. The Jets would have had an even better season with the chemistry they had with Chad Pennington if he would have stayed. But no, this crybaby has to make a giant big deal, drag all the fans through the mud, like the previous caller said, for nothing.
By the way, this is a typical thing that happens in New York. I don't know if you've paid attention to New York teams at all, but it's a typical thing that happens. You got a younger player who hasn't quite gotten there yet, but he's on the way up. And then you have a chance to get a 38-year-old washed-up former star, and they sign him for a year or two. And this isn't just football. It's every New York team. They all do it. Wayne Gretzky playing for the New York Rangers. They all do it. And the fans, then the fans act like Wayne Gretzky played his whole career in it. Yeah, Wayne Gretzky, he was a Ranger. He was a Ranger. Yeah, but not in his best years. He never won crap with the Rangers.
I definitely agree. Yeah, I mean, I just think it's ridiculous. I had a lot of respect for him when they lost in AFC Championship, but you know, they played a hard game, and then you should have retired right there. I think it would have been perfect. He would have left it like that. The fans would have loved him. He would have stayed in Green Bay, but no. It's you got to be a moron and ruin 2 seasons.
Yeah, 2 different teams. Unbelievable. 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Ryan on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Tom?
Doing great.
So I've actually had a first-hand encounter of Bret Farve being selfish. So I'm at a Packers conference with my 2 kids, and I had the chance to speak with him face-to-face, and my kid has been wanting an autograph from him for a while, so I asked him for the autograph. He takes the paper over happily, signs it, and then he starts peering down at my shirt pocket, which I had a picture of him framed. And he looks at that, looks back at my eyes, and looks back at it again, and he's like, well, are you going to give me that card? And I kind of chuckled, thinking he was laughing. And he says, well, you think autographs are free? And I was just baffled at this point. And he takes the autograph, rips it up, and he says, you know what? Have some class next time you're speaking to a world-class quarterback. And my kids start crying. I don't know what to do. And, you know, just after that, I can't have respect for the guy who does that in front of my 2 kids. So, you know what? All you guys out there that still have respect for him, I mean, the guy's a nutcase. You can't do anything about that.
Ryan, thank you for that. It's Phil on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom, thanks for taking my call.
Yes.
Hey, one thing about when you were doing this about a year ago, when he was going to come back and he was in tears, the reoccurring thing that you kept saying that Bret Farve had said at his press conference was that it's not about the money, and you kept saying, well, sure, it's about the money. He was doing it for free. But Tom, you never said anything about it when they offered him $20 million to stay home for 2 years. You never came back on and said after the fact, you know what? I guess it wasn't about the money.
What if the Jets offered him the NFL minimum to come play? Would he have gone?
No, but they offered him.
Why not?
Tom, they offered him $20 million to stay home for 2 years.
What if they offered him the NFL minimum? Would he have taken it? The answer is no.
You don't know that. They were offering him money to stay home, Tom, for $20 million.
I'm asking you. Yeah, but what? You know, he wanted to get paid to play, and he wanted to get paid in the lifestyle to which he'd become accustomed. There's no way he'd take the minimum.
Fair enough. Tom, can you blow me up, please?
Yes, I can. 1-800-5800-TOM. It's Mike on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom.
Hey.
I didn't lie to Dino, but I didn't tell him the whole truth. I got this lesson from my dad. A guy is allowed, and let me preface, I think Bret Favre's a punk, what he did to the Jets. I'm not a Jets fan or a Packers fan. I'm unfortunately a Lions fan, but he got Mangino fired this year. But my dad's rule, and I totally believe it, a guy is allowed to cry 3 times in his life. I've cried once when my dog died last year. If your first dog, your best dog dies, you're allowed to cry. Once you're old enough and your daughter gets married, you're allowed to cry to that. And if you're going to end a professional pro career. Now,
what comedian said that? Because you've borrowed that from somebody. I just heard that
maybe
on TV.
My dad did, but I got that from my dad. My dad.
Then your dad heard a comedian. I just heard that line on TV.
But I mean, I fully believe in it. I mean, there's no other reason to cry if you're a man. But I mean, if you're going to end your Little League career, you can't cry. But if you're going to end a 20-year brilliant NFL career.
Yeah, but guess what? 2 years ago, he didn't end his career. Last year, he didn't end his career. So, you know, if he cried when he ended his career, we could have a conversation about it. He cried, and then he came back. Little baby. Little baby. And then the guy ruined the seasons of two different teams.
Oh, I totally agree. He's a punk. He's totally a pain, and he got a
creep.
Damn good coach fired. You know?
Unbelievable.
Blow me up, Tom?
I'll blow you up. Now press the button, nothing happened. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Bret Farvre, no playoffs for him. It was much ado about nothing. Joe on the Tom Leykis Show.
Father, how you doing?
Okay, son.
Good. I felt like I had to chime in here. You know, it's sad when you watch a player who's as established as Bret Farvre is, and, you know, pretty much put himself through this whole entire mess. It's you kind of have to take out pity on the guy, and if you look back, it kind of reminds you of the likes of, like, Michael Jordan. You know, he hangs it up with the Bulls and then comes back with the Wizards? Really? You know,
that's after he already had done a comeback with the Bulls.
It just doesn't make sense. I mean, you look at it, I mean, obviously these guys are playing for the love of the game, but, you know, you got to realize if you're a professional athlete and you're in the eye of the public and everything you do is under the lights of a camera, you got to know when to hang it up and you got to know when to make yourself not.
I mean, I all these years I've never had any intention of retiring. The day I will retire will be the day nobody will pay me what I'm worth. That's it. I'll do this till I'm 85 years old.
So then you kind of agree with what Manny Ramirez, it's kind of off topic a little bit, sorry if I digress, but it's kind of like what Manny Ramirez said, if no one offers me what I want, then I'm willing to retire. You kind of agree with that, even though
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
What, you don't believe he said that?
I don't believe he'll do it.
What do you think? You're a Dodger fan, are you not?
I'm a Dodger fan, but now the word is spreading that the Giants are supposedly talking to Manny Ramirez.
Well, that'd be a sad day for Dodgers. But, all right, Dad, thanks for taking my call. Can you blow me up?
Yes, son, I can. 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Christian on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, how's it going, Tom?
Great.
Yeah, I got two things for you. The first one is this. There's two types of Green Bay fans, if you've ever been to Green Bay, and there's the Green Bay Packer fans and there's Bret Farvre fans. The Bret Farvre fans say he can do no wrong. Green Bay Packer fans know his true colors and can't stand him. The other analogy comparison I'll give you is this. Bret Farvre is the white version of Terrell Owens. You remember Terrell Owens crying, don't you? He's my quarterback. He's my quarterback. Same thing. He's the white version of that. Drama, drama, drama.
By the way, how's Terrell Owens doing in the playoffs?
Exactly. How's Bret Favre doing, too? Hey, can you take me out African tribal style?
I certainly can. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Brian on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom.
Hey.
How's it going?
Great.
I disagree with you saying that Bret Favre made two seasons bad.
He did.
Yeah, you got to look at the Dolphins are doing better with Chad Pennington now.
I'm not talking about the Dolphins. I'm talking about the Green Bay Packers and the New York Jets.
All right.
He ruined the seasons of both teams.
Yeah, but Chad Pennington made the Dolphins better.
Chad Pennington did make the Dolphins better. The Dolphins stunk.
Yeah, it did.
Chad Pennington made the Dolphins better, but Bret Favre, number one, didn't give Aaron Rodgers the benefit of having a full training camp without controversy and without uncertainty. And then he went to the Jets at the last minute, and when he got there, didn't know the playbook, wasn't ready to play. And then once the season got started, he wasn't all he was cracked up to be.
Yeah, but Aaron Rodgers knows the playbook, and he's been with Green Bay for a while, so I think that...
yeah, but he's still, he's still a relatively young guy, and for him to have gone through all of what they went through during that training camp, and you can't tell me that was fair to him.
It's not fair, but, you know, as the season goes on, you get better with your accuracy and everything else.
I don't know. You know what? I don't buy it. I think that I think Aaron Rodgers is a hell of a quarterback, and I think once he gets an entire season, including an entire training camp, without Bret Favre and his little whiny ways, I think they will be back in the playoffs.
I agree with you. You know, Favre's crying, a little crybaby, but, you know, he deserves what he got.
Thank you for that. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Bret Farvre not going to the playoffs, not playing in the NFL playoffs with the New York Jets. What do you think about that?
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866. The Tom Leykis Show.
The Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. So Bret Favre, all that whining and crying, was it worth it? New York Jets are not going to the playoffs this year. Is he going to drag everybody through some more soap opera? The New York Jets owners want him to come back next year. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Let's say hello here to Jose on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hey, Tom.
Hey.
How's it going? Hey, I'm calling because I disagree with you on the whole thing that Bret Farvre ruined 2 seasons. 2 team seasons.
How so?
Because if you're saying that Aaron Rodgers didn't have a full training camp without the whole thing of Bret Favre hanging over his head.
Right.
But Aaron Rodgers should have been able to step up during the season at least. If you look over at Peyton Manning didn't have a training session. Freaking
How are the Indianapolis Colts doing in the playoffs?
They just but did they make it to the playoffs?
Well, that's true.
So that means that Aaron Rodgers could have stepped up and taken his team to at least the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Peyton Manning did not have this controversy during training camp.
Yeah, but he had the whole thing with it. He had a physical ailment that prevented him from practicing. Aaron Rodgers had this thing in the preseason. He should have been able to get over it, stepped up to the plate, and taken his team to the playoffs. They had a good team over there. They just came out and choked. That's all the Packers did. They just choked as a team.
So do you think that the Patriots choked as a team? Do you think the Cowboys choked as a team? Do you think the Dolphins choked as a team?
The Cowboys choked as a team. The Patriots did not choke as a team because they were 11-5, better than the Cardinals who got into the playoffs, better than the Chargers who stepped it up at the end of the season but still got to the playoffs. It was a whole situation. I'm a Dolphins fan, so I'm glad the Patriots didn't get into the playoffs because the Dolphins went there. And I do think Chad Pennington made the team better, but he didn't take as many reps as Bret Favre did. We relied more on, the Wildcat scheme or the whole, shindig there that helped us get to the playoffs, helped us win games.
Uh-huh.
So I just don't think that he ruined 2 seasons, because how many games did the Jets win last year?
They won less last year than this year, I believe. I have to take a look at the record, but I do believe they had won less, but still not that many less.
But they were in the hunt, and I think Mangini should have benched Favre. Look what Andy Reid did for 1 game. And Donovan McNabb came back and was the old Donovan McNabb.
Nobody has the guts to bench Bret Favre. Not Eric Mangini. No. Go back in time. Mike Holmgren. Nobody would have had the guts to bench Bret Favre.
But they ended up leaving where they were because of Bret Favre. Mangini's gone now. I don't think Bret Favre should come back. I think he was over the hump to come back in the first place.
Yep, that part I agree with, Jose. Thank you. It's Lee on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Lee.
Long time no talk to, buddy.
Boy,
last time I talked to you is when that crazy dog case was going on that inherited the $4 million and my friend was involved.
Oh, boy.
Long time ago. Anyway, let me just tell you something. I'm going to try to really watch my language because I hate that no-good, self-grandizing, narcissistic son of a you-know-what. He could have quit, like you said, at the top of the line, but he just wanted to be he always has to be the prima donna, the center of attention, and what does he end up doing? Because he has to throw one more interception, he screws my Patriots out of a spot. I hate him. I want him to be castrated. I want him to go through the New York transit system so we can take care of him. He is the biggest piece of crap I just want to see him on the subway once, Bob. One time. Just once. You don't have to worry about him being benched because he won't have an ass to sit in a bench. He is the biggest piece of crap. I've listened to one terrible story about him after another. But, boo-hoo-hoo, he had even me falling for it. I gave everything I could. But no, he had $25 million, like you said, he could have got. So it's not about the money. You're wrong, Tom. He would have settled for nothing to sign on because he's got to be
the Jets were stupid to pay him all that money.
Oh, no, he would have gone for nothing because he's got to be the big savior. But what is he got to do? I swear to God, Tom, before he threw that last interception, I said to my friend, I turned to my friend, I said, this bastard's going to throw another interception. Boom, before the words came out of my mouth. Boom, he had to do it just like he did it last year. He is just no
By the way, did he have a press conference after that?
Oh, no, he didn't. Not in New York. They would have rode him out on a rail. And he did, and I can't stand Mangini, but he get the raw end of that deal. You know what I mean? And he came in there, and the first few games he was okay, even though I didn't like him. He was okay, but he just had to keep showboating, and it cost my damn team, an 11-5 team, a spot. And the damn Dolphins, the only good thing about it is those damn fish went down. That's the only good thing that happened this year, Tom. I've got to live with that. I mean, I'm telling you, man, I just want him. I'll pay for the ticket. Just come down into the subway, Bret. We got something for you. I guarantee you, him and D or whatever.
It sounds to me like you're ready to get on the subway yourself.
Oh, let me tell you, I'm in California now, but obviously I'm a New Yorker, and I will pay for the fare just
2
to
minutes
ride
and 36 seconds.
I can meet him at the damn subway, Tom. He's a piece of crap.
Thank you, Lee. 1-800, at least she waited 2 minutes and 36 seconds. 1-800 to say she was a New Yorker. Yes, like you couldn't tell. 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Let's say hi here to John on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
Hey, Dad. Third time, long time.
Thank you, son.
Just to reiterate what that windbag from New York just said, technically, Farvre didn't only screw the Packers and the Jets, he screwed the Patriots out of the playoffs as well with that terrible performance in Week 17.
Well, that's exactly what the last caller said, but...
I know. But just real quick, man, Genie, he's so overweight, he looks like Kevin James from The King of Queens. He needs to lose a couple pounds. And if I have to see any more Bret Farvre Wrangler jeans commercials, I'm going to lose it. Between him and Peyton Manning. All those guys do are make TV commercials. It's unbelievable.
1-800-5800-TOM. It's Tony on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
Hey, Tom. First-time caller, long-time listener.
Yeah, baby.
I'm going to have to add to another sob story like that other New Yorker, or sounded like he was a New Yorker. The Jets knew they were going to get a quarterback who was going to add to his interception record. I mean, Bret Farvre is a good player. For 38, 39, I don't know how old he is, he's a good quarterback. He was brought into the Jets football team organization to, number one, win games, and number two, possibly take them to the playoffs. He did one, but he didn't do two. And I'm sure that if Bret Farvre would have won the last game and maybe won the first round of the playoffs, we probably wouldn't be talking about this. But, I think, I'm personally, I'm a 49er fan, and I hated the Packers, because they would always beat us in the NFC championship games and stuff like that. But I think Bret Favre is a good quarterback, even though a bunch of drama.
Well, but he's not that good.
No. That's why I said he's a good quarterback. I never said he was great. He's not a Joe Montana.
But the point is, when you're getting $22 million or whatever he gets per year, I think you have to be great.
Yeah,
good isn't good enough.
Yeah. Hey, Tom, can you take me out Lacy Peterson style?
It would be tasteless, but I could, yes.
Emmer. Hey. Emmer.
It's 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Bret Favre not going to the playoffs. What do you think about that? Let's say hello here to Matt on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
Hey, how's it going, Tom?
Great.
Great. I think that last caller was a lady from in Los Angeles from New York. I think she is so full of it. I feel that Bret Favre came back trying to help a team he felt he could still play. He was unwanted by his team that he was on for over a decade, and he still felt he could win. And he started off the season.
He was wrong.
He was having one of the best seasons of his life until he just fell off the wagon.
The season is not 9 games long. Sorry.
Yeah, but I feel like if I agree with your point that if he was to get benched for 1 game, then he would have came
You want to
back.
you want to have a seniors league like professional golf? Fine, but it's not a 9-game season. It's a 16-game season, and you have to be there for all 16 games. There's no falling off the wagon. Not acceptable.
You never know how his second half of the season is going to be. He felt like he was able to do it.
You do when somebody's really great, okay? Yeah, I'll tell you what, Tom Brady, you knew how the second half of his season was going to be a year ago, and he wasn't hurt. You knew. You knew. Brett Favre's an old man, and he should have retired, and he didn't. And he dragged everybody through this whole drama queen thing that I think was unbecoming, and frankly, it tarnishes his image.
I feel that it might have tarnished his image, but I feel like the fact that he wanted to continue to play, that's who Brett Favre is.
No. He didn't want to continue, then he did, then he didn't, then he did, then he didn't want to continue with the Packers. Come on.
Put yourself.
He's a little girl. He's a little girl.
Man, Leykis, I love talking to you, man. I heard about you from my older brother. You're an awesome guy. I love your work.
Well, thank you for that. That's what they always say when I have them against the wall. Oh, you know what? You're great. I love your show. You're so great. 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Let's say hello here to Anthony on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
Hey, Tom, what's happening?
Not much.
Hey, I just had an opinion on this, Brett Favre, I agree with you on that. He's a drama queen. You need to drag it out, either say you're going to retire or not. But I just had an opinion, Packers or Jets, you just have to have a great to decent offensive line, anywhere between there. You can run the ball, and with that, you can throw the ball. If you can protect the quarterback, you can do anything. But people playing the Jets, even though Leon Washington and Thomas Jones, they were good, they knew, hey, they're going to sling the ball at least 30 times with Brett Favre, so they're going to, do whatever they got to do to get to him. Make him make quick decisions. He'll throw an interception here or there, whatever he's got to do. Whatever he thinks is right, he'll end up throwing the interception. But basically, if you have a good offensive line, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is, you're going to win. And it all starts with the offensive line. That was my only opinion. And thanks for your time. Goodbye.
Thank you for the call. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. All that drama Brett Favre took fans through a year ago, 2 years ago, was it worth it?
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866. The Tom Leykis Show.
It's the Tom Leykis Show, now heard 6 days a week. Here are Saturdays from 2 until 6 on 97.1 FM Talk in Los Angeles. And at blowmeuptom.com. Click the Listen Live button, and you'll be listening live. It's Monday through Friday from 3 until 8 on 97.1 FM Talk. Saturdays 2 until 6, and then on Sunday from 5 until 7, The Tasting Room with Tom Leykis. And also at blowmeuptom.com. So it's all there for you. All you have to do is, dip right in. You'd be like a human tortilla chip. I'll be your salsa. There you go. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. Brett Favre, not in the playoffs. What do you think about that? It's Adam on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, how are you doing, Tom?
Pretty good.
Oh, I figured this would happen.
What?
I've been a Packer fan pretty much my whole life, and we've been watching him throw interceptions, give away big games. I'm just glad I didn't have to watch it for my team this year.
Do you agree that he ruined the seasons of the Jets and the Packers?
I agree he ruined it for the Jets, but not the Packers.
You think
Aaron Rodgers played a good season.
Yeah, but how much better would he have been if he didn't have all that stuff in his head at the beginning of the season?
I don't think we could tell till next year.
Right, exactly. But again, we're just guessing. We're just speculating. We're just expressing opinions. And I happen to believe that if Aaron Rodgers 1 year ago today was told, all right, next season you're the quarterback, and that was it, I think he'd be in the playoffs today.
Yeah, as long as the defense can stay healthy.
As long as the defense can stay healthy. Yeah, there you go. Michael on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Hi, Michael.
I was just calling in regards to Brett Farvre. I mean, what's up, man? Why do you hate him so much, man? Why are you calling him?
It's not a matter of hating him. It's when it's done, get out. When you're done, get out. Stop with the crying and the press conferences. Stop with the I'm retiring, I'm unretiring. Stop with it already.
But he's never cried before. I mean, how could he? Why would he be crying?
You tell me. Boo-hoo-hoo, crier. You tell me why he's a crier.
Well, first of all...
Because he's a big baby. That is a big goddamn baby. That's why he's a crier.
Well, I mean, before he went to the Jets, let's be realistic. What happened? He was kicked out by Ted Thompson.
No, he was kicked out after he retired.
No.
He retired. He announced his retirement.
But Ted Thompson never wanted him.
He announced his retirement. All he had to do was not announce his retirement. He had a contract, and he would have been back. But that's not what he did. He had a big, blubbering press conference, and he announced his retirement.
Yeah, okay, granted, but...
He didn't have to do that, but he did it.
Well, why did he do it? Because...
You tell me. You know what? I'll tell you what. You sign a contract... be a man, and come in and fulfill it. He had a contract. I have a contract to be here. I don't come and give a big blubbering press conference and, I don't know if I can go on. I don't know. I think I'm going to step down and then come back and have another press. I miss it. I want to come back. Come on. You have a contract. You be a man. You step up to the plate. You come to work.
A while ago, you said he was not a good quarterback. He's a hell of a quarterback.
No, he's past his prime. He's done.
I don't think so. If he was past his prime,
all right. Well, how are they doing in the how are the Jets doing? How are the Jets doing in the playoffs?
Well, obviously they're not in the playoffs.
Wow, blah, 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 blah. Chad Pennington made the playoffs.
But he's an overrated quarterback. He got lucky.
He got lucky, and Brett Farvre got unlucky. Oh, you're so full of it. 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Matt on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Mr. Leykis, what's going on?
Not much.
I get in this argument almost every weekend with my friends. I think Farvre is the most overrated quarterback in NFL history, and I'll say that. He's the all-time leader in interceptions, and they gave him 2 opportunities to come back to the team. They asked him once, and he said no. Then they asked him twice, and then he moved on. And if he knew he was going to the Jets, he would have shut up and stayed with Green Bay because he didn't want to go to New York. He doesn't want that big spotlight. And the other thing that bothers me is when other quarterbacks make a bad read or a bad throw, oh, that's a stupid play. But when Farvre does it, oh, he's a gunslinger. He's so daring. Oh, that's just how Brett Farvre does it. You know, so I just can't stand that.
Yeah.
So it's a great topic. Finally, someone puts it out there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Matt. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Let's say hello here to Don on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hey, Tom, how you doing tonight?
Doing okay.
Hey, there's 2 trains of thought as far as I'm concerned. He has every right to play. If someone's going to pay him, he has a right to play. But on the other hand, he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. It's better to leave too early than too late and tarnish that reputation as far as I'm concerned. I think he should have stepped down this year. He shouldn't have played anymore.
Yes, well, that's the whole thing. I mean, again, be a man, step up to the plate. I mean, I'm telling you, I've got a contract, and I believe in fulfilling your contract. I believe you come in, you go to work. Imagine if I had a big press conference last year. Oh, no, if I can continue. I don't know if I can go on. No. You come in, you work.
It's better to retire too early. And
Brett Favre had a contract. You know what? Here's when you retire, when the contract is up.
Right, of course. Of course, you give it your all, and you don't whine about it. But, he shouldn't even have played this year. I thought he was done last year. I mean, but I've said, of course, if someone's going to pay all that money, I'm going to take it, and no matter how bad I am, I'm going to take it.
That's right. By the way, if you're Brett Favre, why did you sign a contract that goes through 2008 if your plan wasn't to play through 2008?
Well, yeah, I don't know what his thinking was, but hey, Tom, can you take me out with that Kobe Bryant style?
Yes, I can.
This is about us. She's so special to me.
Your beats in my heart. You're the air I breathe. She's so special to me.
I don't know if I can go on. I think I'm going to stop right here. I'm taking a beating, all these phone calls over the years. I can't take it. I'm going to have a press conference. Stupid. You come to work. That's what you do. Bret Farvre, I don't know what I'm going to do. Shut up. Be a man. You signed a contract. Come to work. Stop having press conferences. Stop crying. Jesus. Jared on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
What up, Tom?
Not much.
Long time, first time.
Long time listener, first time caller.
I think it was a bad move for the Jets in the long run, man. You bring in a new quarterback, especially after you've got Kellen Clemens. You know, I'm from Oregon, so I watched Clemens play with the Ducks. He was a good quarterback, and I think if you try and build a team around that guy, you've got a better chance because you've been practicing with him for 1 or 2 years, whereas you bring in Bret Favre, you've got high expectations from the fans. Everybody wants something out of him immediately, and that'll go to his head too quick. You know what I mean?
I do.
And, you know, I just think, when he was in Green Bay, Bret Favre was the hero. He's the man, you know what I mean? And everybody loved him there. And when he came to New York, he really didn't know what to think because everybody had such high expectations. And he pretty much thought to himself, maybe he had to build a new name. You know what I mean?
Well, he did have to build a new name because, you know why? You get to New York and, the minute you make a mistake, they're booing you mercilessly.
Well, of course. And, you know, I'm a Bills fan. I think of it like Doug Flutie. He did great in Buffalo because people loved him in Buffalo. And when he went to San Diego, his numbers showed that he just could not produce like he was with the Bills. You know what I mean?
Those things happen.
All right, Tom, you take it easy and take me out with a bong rip and a thank you, Jesus.
Here you go, Jared.
Thank you, Jesus.
1-800-5800-TOM. Very quickly, Roger on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
Hey, Tom, I agree with you 100%. I grew up 30 miles south of Green Bay, and I've been a Packer fan all my life. And thank God I didn't have to listen to Bret's whining and his drama. I mean, when I never did listen to the whole spiel on his retirement because I couldn't stand listening to him cry. I mean, you talk about a whiner. And he hasn't just done it last year. He put the whole team in a turmoil the last 4 years.
It's horrible.
The Tom Leykis Show.